going on, everybody? Happy 2-year anniversary at SHIPIT Nation. Big day over here. Hey, it's been a hell of a ride. Love what we've got going. Very excited for the future. Happy birthday to us at SHIPIT Nation. Hey, just for that, like button helps us out a ton. Subscribe button also helps us out a ton. Let's get right into it as well. Code DGen75. We had this before the birthday. We'll have it throughout the summer, but by far the best deal out there. Usually $99. All of our content for all sports, Saber Sim, and the best Discord around. Usually $99 for that. Use the code DGen75. Get you $75 off your first month. Less than $1 a day. Only $24. Saber Sim, Discord, all the content. Absolutely cannot beat that. Big Marley, bring you in. How we doing on this fine Thursday afternoon?
Not too bad. Can't complain. Got fights again this weekend. 100K up top. Hopefully one of us will ship it.
Yeah, hopefully, man. Bilal. Not only did I bet Bilal big, I also had the winner if Bilal won in the flagship.
Oh my God.
That was a big boy swing. I did hedge, not pre-fight because I was so confident Bilal, but a minus 140 jack. I believe it was round 4. I got it. I laid a pretty big bet on there. I mean, man, Bilal he didn't try to wrestle. When he did, he really didn't have much success. Huge kudos to Jack Dell in that fight. Looked really good, kept it at distance, did what he had to do. Would have made a lot more money if the other way went. Was able to get a little hedge down. How was your week last week?
I don't even remember. I think I lost because of Bilal. I fell asleep probably first fight into the pay-per-view, so I didn't even see Bilal's fight. But I had him parlayed with Jasmine, so that would have been nice if he won because I hit a Shevchenko bet. I think I had another bet that I won as well, but I lost bets overall because of Bilal. So I'm pretty sure it was a losing night for me, but I really don't remember it all.
Yeah, that makes sense. G. Kiefer, Jason, Chinchak, what's going on, everybody? Tough week. I agree, tough week. 12 fights, so that's the magic number. 12's okay. We're back to the Apex, a Fight Night card. We've definitely been blessed these past couple of weeks with pay-per-view, 2 5-rounders, 13 fights, even 14 fights. So only 12's not great. Couple big favorites on this card, minus 500, minus 550, minus 820. Yeah, I mean, the main event favorite, by far the biggest favorite on the card, minus 820, highest price, 9,700. That adds a little wrinkle into it. Tough card, I agree. I think leaving salary is pretty difficult, like 1,000 plus. Getting different in spots, I think, is pretty tough. I agree. It's a pretty tough week. This is one of the few cards I'll miss. I'll be out on the boat, on the lake. Very excited for that. We'll never turn that down. So I'll pass up this card for the lake any day. Broadside overview. Anything, Big Marley, before we go fight by fight?
Yeah, I mean, if you got to miss a card, this is a good one to miss, I think. If it wasn't for 100K up top, I really wouldn't have too much interest in this card either, but I'll give it a shot at the start. If I'm live all the way through, I'll watch all the way through. But if I'm dead early, I'll stop watching early and I'll figure out other plans. But I think it's tough slate. I think a lot of ownership will flock to the main and the co-main event. Also, the Ruzaboyev Stoltzfus fight. And then after that, I mean, I think we pretty much are going to be everyone's fading Tisha per usual. And then the ownership kind of gets mixed in around after those fights. So I got to find a couple ways to get different. I was so chalky on my first build that I was like, oh shit, maybe I need to use Tisha in this one just to be different. But I ended up changing the whole thing up. And I'll probably delete it out and maybe just do 20 on the Saber Sim, something like that. I don't think it'll be a 150 week for me.
Yeah, I'm with you. I won't be 150 either. I don't think it's a great card at the end of the day for DFS, but it could be worse. Fingers crossed, all 24 fighters make weight. If we lose one fight, I wouldn't play any in tournaments. I think it'd be really, really bad. So let's hope we get all 12 fights. Let's get into it. Bottom to top, like always. Big Marley, you said you're gonna be watching live the whole time until you're not. You're gonna be watching the fights live until you're not live in DFS. I think you're probably gonna be fine after this first fight, but you're gonna have to watch it. Tisha Pennington, Tisha Torres, whatever you want to call her, minus 355, taking on Luana Pinheiro, plus 280. This fight's the most likely to go the distance on the card at minus 400. Torres plus 450 inside the distance. Pinheiro plus 600. Just an easy dogger pass if I have to play anyone. Like Tisha at her price tag, competing against everyone else in the upper tier. This girl never wins by finish. Like I look through her decision wins and what she scores It is terrible. I'm not going to bore you, but plenty of low scores. Only scored 100 plus once since her debut in 2014. Zero Pennington, think it's pretty easy. Pinheiro, dogs are tough on this card. I don't like many of the cheap stuff, so woman's fight, expected to go the distance. Judges can be awful. Maybe a takedown, 2 takedowns, some control time, steals around. Little Pinheiro, still don't love it. No Pennington. What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm just gonna try and fully fade this fight, especially with 20 lineups or less. I'm really not trying to pay $9,300 for Tisha, but I do think she's just the better fighter everywhere. Pinheiro is the stronger, more powerful fighter. She could probably hit a little bit harder, but she's not gonna knock Tisha out. She could probably also use her strength to get a takedown or two, but I just don't think she's gonna do enough with those. Tisha probably pops back to her feet and then dances around the cage enough for Pinheiro to not be able to score well, even if she does win. So I'm just going to fade the fight. I'll look for other dogs who I think have a better chance of winning, and then I'll look for other favorites who have a higher ceiling.
That makes sense. I don't even like Luana Pinheiro that much, but it is worth noting. So line open, -300 Pennington, got all the way down to -500, and that was on Monday. And now it's -355. So $1.50. Pinheiro's got back in money. That was pretty interesting to me. Again, on a card, I don't like many dogs, but I don't like Pinheiro much. Tisha by decision, neither fighter on the optimal is how I see it. Let's keep it rolling. Another fight that it's hard to love too much. It is in the mid-tier. Hung Sung Park, -175, taking on Carlos Hernandez. +150, +160 for this fight to finish. Park +200 inside the distance. Hernandez +700. A fight where I just prefer the way more dangerous fighter is Park. Hernandez is just so in every single area of MMA. It feels like cardio's fine. He'll fight for your money. Chin's fine. Striking, I guess, is fine. Wrestling's fine. But nothing excites me about this guy. No, pillows for punches when he walks forward. So Park, he's going to eat them, eat 2, eat 3, but he'll fire back. And when he lands, 8 of his 9 wins by finish, 4 KOs, 4 subs. If he wins, if someone's going to score at 95, I think it's Park. Hernandez is 800 less on a card. We don't have many dogs. I'll play some Hernandez. Maybe 70 is enough. But yeah, Park has that Almacan, the Barrio, that mid-tier upside we saw last week. I think Park has that. And the line reflects that. He opened +225 inside the distance. Now +200. This fight Monday was +185 to finish. Now it's +160. Hernandez is +700 inside the distance. So almost all the finishing equity on the Park side. I prefer Park. 70 might be enough, so that for that reason I'll play Hernandez. But yeah, it's Park for me. What about you?
Yeah, I pretty much agree with all that. I'll use both sides of this fight. I think Park is our higher ceiling side because he's more dangerous. And then Hernandez is just one of the more live dogs on the card. I think he's just playing for 10x. I think if he wins, he probably scores 70, less than 10x. But Park is kind of similar to Hernandez to me. He's just not very good either, in my opinion. He's just a lot more dangerous when he does, I guess, go for it. But I would say this is closer to a 2-star for me. I'm not really looking to click on either one of these guys, but at the same time, I'm fine clicking on either one of them, even if it were a single entry. So I left it at 3-star. I would guess if I had to put a number on it right now, I'd probably be around 15% on both guys, though, 15, 20.
Let's compare quick. I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but Luana Santos, Lisboa. You have that as a 2-star, so I'm guessing this fight?
Yeah, I would say this fight, but it's close because, we'll get to that fight, but yeah, I think Lisboa has a higher ceiling, or not Lisboa. I think Santos has a higher ceiling, but I'm picking Lisboa to win, so yeah.
I won't jump too far ahead, but pretty much what I'm comparing is the mid-tier this week is awful. So look at the mid-tier fights. 3-star here, and mid-tier considered 8,500 to 7,700, how we have it. Another mid-tier fight, 2-star. Another mid-tier fight, 2-star. Another mid-tier fight, 2-star. So technically, just looking at this, the highest mid-tier fight we have, 3-star, could be a 2-star as well. So that's at least what makes this card good, is outside of the couple that we know people like, or the couple fights that are good to target, it's all just a jumbled mess outside of that. And ownership's going to be eating into each other. You can fade the main event. So while it is only 12 fights and a lot of big favorites, at least I think ownership will be pretty spread out, and you can get on different combinations. So yeah, with 100K up top, it could be worse. Again, fingers crossed, all 12 fights, all 24 fighters make weight. All right, let's move to the next fight on the card. Huge money. So again, I put these odds Monday, and then I change them tomorrow when we track line movement. But minus 500 Gomes was on Monday. Now she's minus 700, taking on Elise Reed, plus 500, plus 130 for this fight to finish. Gomes plus 140 inside the distance. Reed plus 950. I'm not playing any Reed. You tell me if you are. But for the Gomes side, how much of her are you going to get? Again, Morales is right there. Bellato's right there. Ruzi Boyev's right there. I do think they all get more ownership, though. So curious your take on the Gomes situation.
Yeah, I'm not going to play Reed either, but I will get some Gomes. I don't like clicking on her. I'd much rather find $200 to get up to Morales, or there's a few people I'd rather pay down for instead. But I do think she'll be lower owned than them. So for ownership purposes, I am okay going to her. And I also think that her easiest path to victory would be to mix in her wrestling game and kind of do damage on the ground. And if she's able to do that, that's where most of the points will come from. I think she has a much higher ceiling if that's the case. If it's going to be a striking match, then Reed is live here. I just still think Gomes is better. She should have her covered anywhere this fight goes. So, yeah, I like Gomes, and Reed will be a pass for me.
Lockstep right there. Hey, we're pretty lockstep to start this card. Let's see in this next fight. Another mid-tier fight. Again, we briefly talked about it. Luana Santos and Tanara Lisboa. We're looking at minus 160 for Santos. Plus 140 is Lisboa. Plus 385 on both girls inside the distance to finish. So this fight opened plus 190, or on Monday was plus 195 to finish. Still plus 190 to finish. It opened that way. It's kind of tough. Like, you're parlaying getting a close pick'em fight to then score enough to be optimal. You do see Lisboa 2.05 takedown, Santos 1.62. We haven't seen Lisboa in a little while. She hurt her knee in camp before her last fight. Still fought, got the decision. Then had to have surgery like December 2023. And look at her age. I mean, Santos already the younger fighter, 25 years old Santos. Lisboa coming off a layoff at 34. So I get why the money's coming in on Santos. For me, though, just close fight, probably going to decision. I prefer the 600 savings. I guess I could say the same thing about Hernandez Park. I just think Park wins. I'm more confident in that. So I lean dog with the savings. But, yeah, it sounds like you like both sides of this fight relative to other fights on the mid-tier.
Yeah, I'm okay with this fight. Lisboa is my preferred play because I am picking her to win. The numbers on this fight, I don't know that they're misleading, but the way I see it would be Santos has the edge on the ground and Lisboa has the striking edge, but you wouldn't think that just looking at the numbers. Santos, I would say, has the higher ceiling because of her ground edge. If she is going to win this fight, it could be dominantly if she's able to get takedowns early and maybe get multiple takedowns or submission through those takedowns. But Lisboa, I think she could land a couple takedowns if she wants. But if she can use her wrestling to stay on the feet, I like her striking a lot more than I like Santos's striking. And I think she's going to hit a lot harder than Santos. For DFS, we probably do need her to mix in a couple takedowns. I think if she wins a striking match here, she's scoring 60-something points, and it's not going to be on the optimal lineup. So that's why I have this as a 2-star. I'm not going to be targeting this fight, but I'm also not going to X either one of them out. I'll play both of them, but I'll have more exposure to Lisboa. And my favorite Santos lineup, I'd probably just want Lisboa in that as well and just leave 600 or whatever it is on the table.
100% like that last point. I'd very fine leaving 600, taking a plus 140 dog, similar upside as a way to cut 18 dupes down to 3 dupes or something like that. So good shout there. All right, keep it moving again. Appreciate everyone hanging out. Like button, subscribe button. Helps us out a ton. Big favorite is this next one. Yadier Duvall taking on Connor Matthews. Yadier now minus 550, open minus 450. Matthews plus 400 on the way back. Minus 135 for this fight to finish. Duvall minus 105 inside the distance. Matthews plus 700. So this fight opened plus 100 to finish. Now minus 135. Duvall opened plus 140 to finish. Now minus 105. Let's see his round 1 prop. Open plus 400. Now plus 300. I mean, this Connor Matthews just a punching bag at the end of the day. Like, this dude is not very good. So Duvall making his UFC debut, Contender Series looks solid. I don't know if this dude's like a top 10 guy in the UFC, but I do think Conor Matthews probably bottom 10 in the UFC. So for that, by default, Duvall I'm picking, I'm playing. I'm fine leaving 500 plus. Morale is down to him. Hope he gets a first round knockout. That's the way I can get different. I'm not playing Matthews with 20 teams or less. What are you doing in this fight?
Yeah, Delval is definitely my preferred play in this one. Matthews, I mean, he ran through a lot of people on the regional scene, and he looked decent doing it, but then he gets to the UFC and he just doesn't look good at all. So I'm kind of just over him. I don't really think that ceiling that we saw on the regional scene is there. I mean, I'd be pissed if he goes out there and gets a 50-second submission or something, and I don't have any of them, because that is kind of his style. But if he doesn't get that, I just think Delval's, I think he's better everywhere. I think he's a better wrestler. I think he's a better grappler. I think he's the more likely back control guy over the course of a round or two. I think he's the guy pushing forward on the feet. He's the higher pace striker. And I think he's the more dangerous striker too. So yeah, I'll probably be overweight to Delval. And then I don't know if I'm going to completely fade Matthews, but I'm definitely looking to get other underdogs instead.
So you prefer Matthews to Pinheiro?
Yeah.
Okay. I probably prefer Pinheiro, just not necessarily. I like the upside for Matthews more, but looking just win equity, the money line on a card that, I mean, that's important. Even if Matthews, it's hard to see Matthews losing and being optimal, even if no dogs win. Like, he's probably just getting finished at the end of the day. Maybe not. Maybe it's just a complete war. But whereas it feels like Pinheiro has a little more outs. If no favorite or if no dog wins, all favorites win at 6,900. Supposed to go the distance. Feels like a little higher floor, but I'm still not playing that way. I'm playing like a dog wins.
And I guess I don't know that I like him more. I would say if I was making 150 lineups, I'd probably have more exposure to Pinheiro. But the way I'm thinking is I'm making 20 or less, and I'm just going to X out Pinheiro at the start. And I don't know that I'm for sure Xing out Matthews. Maybe he makes it into one of the 20. But I would guess I just X them both out, and I don't have a preferred play.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't like, by any means, I don't like either of them. I'm not playing Matthews. I don't want to get to Pinheiro, but I'm also not playing Elise Reed. I just hate I'm not playing Gilbert Burns. Maybe Big Marley can talk me into a little bit, but probably not. I keep getting burned by it, but moral of the story, I just hate cheap underdogs, so Pinheiro will be in my pool for that. Matthews, money keeps going against him. I think he gets another L. All right, next fight, closest line and price on the card, Jared Gordon, minus 124, Thiago Moises, plus 104. Plus 225 for this fight to finish. Moises plus 285 inside the distance. Gordon plus 700. So the line flipped. Moises opened the favorite, minus 170, plus 140 on the way back for Gordon. Now Gordon the favorite at minus 124. But with all that being said, inside the distance props, the underdog in Moises, much better. Open plus 300, now plus 285. Gordon open plus 650, now plus 700. So money going to Gordon. But for finishing props, money going to Moises. How do you see this fight going? Tricky mid-tier fight.
Yeah, Moises the better finisher. He's the more dangerous grappler in this one. Gordon has a more questionable chin too, so maybe Moises more likely for the TKO. But the best part of his game is his grappling for sure. He's just not a good wrestler. Gordon is a pretty good wrestler. I think he could actually push a pace with the wrestling, but you don't want to do that in this fight against a good grappler. So Gordon should be looking to keep this fight on the feet, land 2 to every one of Moises' strikes, and I think he wins 2 or 3 rounds on the card. So that's how I see it going. I'll get some Gordon exposure, but I don't know that his volume is going to be high enough to make the optimal lineup. Because I would not expect more than 1 takedown from him in this matchup personally. And then Moises definitely underweight play for me. I mean, with 10 or less lineups, I'm Xing him out. 20 or less, I'm going to try and get to other dogs also because everyone else we talk about going forward, I think all of those dogs are in play. The ones we've talked about more so now, I'm cool getting rid of.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm in agreement with that for the most part too. So Gordon, this fight, Santos fight, Park fight. One of them's optimal. Which one is it?
Park fight.
All right. I agree. All right, let's keep it rolling. Next fight on the card, Mateus Camelo, minus 225, taking on Gabe Green, plus 190. This fight, minus 180 to finish, plus 105, Camelo inside the distance, plus 315 for Green. So another fight, the under has been hit, minus 150 for this fight to finish. It opened, now minus 180. That's a good amount of money. Camelo opened minus 140, now minus 225. Little money, got down to minus 250. Little bit of money coming back on Gabe Green, but the under and Camelo has taken money. I mean, yeah, we haven't seen Gabe Green since that brutal Brian Battle knockout. Now he's cutting down weight, been dealing with some injuries. It sounds like the chin's questionable. Like when he gets going, and the later the fights go, very, very big heart, good volume, just an all-around solid mixed martial artist, especially on the offensive side. But the chin's a worry, getting up there in age, making a weight cut. And this Camelo dude looks pretty good, man. I was impressed with the striking. So, yeah, I'm buying into the younger guy. Again, 24 years old, 32 for Green, 8 years difference. Gabe Green, injuries, coming off a long layoff. Give me the younger kid. And, yeah, I mean, plus 105 to finish. He's someone I can play and leave a good chunk of money at only 8,600 without sacrificing much upside. I'm playing Gabe Green, too, though. Like, talk about live dog. If he wins over 6 significant strikes per minute, he probably has a good chance to be optimal in a win. So I like this fight. What about you? You're on mute.
Yeah. I like this fight. I think both sides are in play. I like the Camelo side based on his striking as well. I just think he's going to need the knockout for him to be on the optimal lineup, because if it's a 3-round striking match, I don't know that he's going to have enough volume to get there. Maybe I don't really know enough about his ground game. I didn't see enough of his fight film, but I think Green's the more likely guy to mix in a takedown or two, and he does have the volume that we mentioned, or you mentioned. So Green is definitely playing for an easy 10x, I think, if he wins, but he's got like 90-point upside. So I do like Green as an underdog. I'll be mixing him into a good amount of lineups, maybe overweight to him. And that could make him my preferred play, I guess, based on him being more owned. But if I'm just going and I'm making a hand-built lineup, clicking on a fighter first, I feel like I'm clicking on Camelo before I'm clicking on Green, if that makes sense. So I don't even have like a preferred play on this one. I'm just fine tossing either one of them into lineups.
I agree with you. Like, if at the end of the day I had 33% Green, 22% Camelo, and I liked everything else, I would roll with it. Okay, Green is one of my favorite underdogs on the slate. Talking 7.6K and below. Money line's fair. Volume solid. Inside the distance prop isn't bad. Like, yeah, when he wins, he has some bit of a ceiling. A pretty high floor, I should put it that way. And we'll take a high floor as any underdog this week. So, yeah, good fight. I'm excited for that one in real life. Even though I'll miss it, that's one I want to go back and more than likely watch. Hey, another fight I want to watch. This should be fun. Any Juicy J fight. Mel Costa, minus 180. Julian Erosa, plus 155. Minus 205 for this fight to finish. Costa, plus 115 inside the distance. Erosa, plus 250. So you can see right here, minus 170 when I wrote this up Monday to finish. Now minus 205. Both guys inside the distance prop has been hammered. Juicy J, I mean, look at this guy. 6.4 significant strikes per minute, 1.63 takedowns. He's just someone that I like targeting fights for on both ends. So this week, no different. I'll play some Costa. I'll play Erosa. If I had to pick a side, I'm taking the 1,200 savings for Juicy J. But, yeah, I think the field, let's see what we have ownership. We have him as the second highest owned underdog. And I think that probably does come to fruition. So seeing that, I think it's still good chalk because, again, he wins. He's on the winner. But Mel Costa looks like a leverage play. And Ruzi Boya for 300 more, but that's the next highest price, will definitely be higher owned. After that, from Costa, Camilo, Park, they'll all be pretty similar. Yeah, probably still Juicy J for the savings, but he's going to be owned. There's no doubt. What do you like in this fight?
I like both sides. It's going to be a fight I target quite a bit. But Erosa will be one of my highest, if not my highest owned underdog on the card. He's just good everywhere. He's a good striker. He strikes at a high pace. He's got punches. He's got kicks. He is also a dangerous grappler. He's got a lot of submission wins. I don't think he's ever been submitted, though. and I would give him the grappling edge in this fight. The striking edge probably goes to Costa. I just think he's faster. The chin of Erosa is the biggest issue for him. Anytime he steps in the octagon, he can get knocked out, to be honest with you. But Costa is just not a knockout striker. I don't think. I don't really view him as that. But he's definitely live to knock out Erosa in any round. He could also land good volume himself. He could mix in takedowns too. So both sides have 100-point ceilings. I'm picking Erosa to win, though. So he's my preferred play.
I like it. We got a dog as the pick. Yeah, 1,200 savings, definitely Erosa. But with how much the under's been steamed, Costa like plus 115 inside the distance for only 8,700 as leverage off of someone that will be popular. Like, you can leave money with him on the table too. So yeah, this is a fight I want to get overweight on, no doubt about that. Talk about another fight I want to get overweight on would be my favorite fight when we're talking for DFS on the card. It's Nursultan Ruziboyev minus 280, taking on Dustin Stoltzfus plus 240, minus 400 for this fight to finish. Ruziboyev minus 230 inside the distance. Stoltzfus plus 450 inside the distance, and then Ruziboyev in round 1 plus 100. Open plus 135. So yeah, money coming in on the under. It's either Ruziboyev first round knockout or maybe second round knockout, or Dustin Stoltzfus, I think, is just gonna do what he does, mix in takedowns, good wrestler, stay safe on top. I mean, Buckley exposed Ruziboyev's ground game. I believe 4 for 4 on takedowns, 6.5 minutes of control time. I mean, just with ease did Buckley do it. Stoltzfus does wrestle. You can see it right on the stone. 2.31 takedowns per 15. Does Ruziboyev probably knock him out? I don't know, maybe. At these odds, though, like, I'm picking Dustin Stoltzfus. I think the pass clear. Ruziboyev maybe knocks him out. I'll play some at 9K. I'm good building Morales' team. Take Morales out, go Ruziboyev, leave 700. Ruziboyev is one of the best plays on the slate, one of the highest owed plays on the slate. Stoltzfus, massive leverage. If he wins, wrestling, it's minus 400 to finish. Just so much checks out for that side. So, yeah, if I had to pick one fight to be my favorite in DFS, if I had to lock one fight, this would be the fight I'd pick. Break down this one. What do you see?
Yeah, I give Ruziboyev the striking edge, Stoltzfus the grappling edge. Ruziboyev could knock him out in any round, could have multiple knockdowns along the way. Stoltzfus actually coming off a knockout win of his own, but he could win. I think any win from Stoltzfus puts him over 10x and likely on the optimal lineup, probably more likely 90 or more points. And I think he's on some new supplements that are working out for him right now. So I'm not against going overweight to Stoltzfus. This is going to be one of my higher owned fights on the card. I'd be cool getting leverage to both sides. And maybe I even flip this to a 3 and a 3 star wise. And then I'll make all my lineups. I might have more Stoltzfus lineups than Ruziboyev. I don't know on this one. So I'll definitely change it as I start building. But this is one where I'm probably going to have it in the majority of my hand-built lineups. And when I'm making Saber Sim lineups too, it's just going to end up in a lot of them because I'm going to have Stoltzfus projected for a lot of for more points than people who are priced higher than him. And same thing with Ruziboyev. I might have him for projected more points than Tisha and for more than Gomes. So I'll just end up with a ton of this fight.
Yeah. If I was playing 5 teams or less, I'd have 100%. Like, if I'm hand building 5, I'm playing 100% of this fight. 20 lineups, it's a little too much, I think, to make that full stand. But if Saberson gave me that and I liked everything else, by no means would I say no. Like a Ruziboyev second round knockout, the score is 102, and just others in the 9K, just out, like, you just 102 wasn't enough. That could happen. So I guess that's the main reason I don't really want to do it. But yeah, I think Ruziboyev gets him early, or Stoltzfus puts on Eclectic Wrestling and just grinding him out, and you take any win at that price. So great fight to target. Another one I'll be looking for, or watching a replay back for DFS. All right, 3 fights left. Mid-tier fights, closely lined fight. Myron Santos minus 135, Sadiq Youssef plus 115, plus 150 for this fight to finish. Santos plus 220 inside the distance. Youssef plus 500. It's another line movement. Plus 185 for this fight to finish at open. Now plus 150. Under being hit. Do these two go in the middle, swing power shots until one falls, or an absolute war like the Edson Barbosa Youssef fight? Or do you think it's more slower pace, fought at range. Neither guy is known for wrestling, 2 strikers. So we pretty much need a finish is how I'm seeing it. Santos much more likely for that. So by nature, by default, he's my preferred play since I think he has more upside. He is my pick to win too. Just think he's the better striker at this point. Worried about Yusuf's chin. How do you got it?
Yeah, it should be a fun striking match. Santos is a solid striker. He's dangerous on the feet too, but if he doesn't get a knockout, I just don't know how he's going to hit 10x. And as a favorite on this card, I think you're going to have to hit more than 10x. So for me, it's definitely going to be Yusuf or pass. I think Yusuf is very live to win this fight. He's a very good striker too. I think he could land more volume in this one. He's fought and beat the better competition. He's had time off. Who knows what he's been working on there? But I would imagine, I don't know that he's going to get better rather than worse, but I mean, he's 31 years old. So I'm definitely not counting him out. And I think that the line should be flipped on this one. So I'll be overweight to Yusuf, but not by much, because I think he's playing for 60s and 70s points in a win here. I don't think he's going to be a lock for the optimal, even if he does get it done. So I'll get, 20, maybe 25% Yusuf, and that'll put me overweight, but I'm not going to go too crazy with it.
This fight or the Santos-Lisboa fight?
The Santos-Lisboa fight, but I might have more Yusuf than either of those.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, man, like this mid-tier, again, mid-tier, expect to go the distance. Mid-tier, expected to go the distance. Mid-tier, expected to go the distance. Mid-tier, expected to go the distance. Last week, the mid-tier couldn't have been any stronger. One of the better mid-tiers we've seen. This week, one of the worst mid-tiers we've seen. So, problem is, the dogs stink too, in my opinion. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Luana Pinheiro gets a couple takedowns, scores 41 in a loss. That could be optimal. Like, that's the reason I'm playing a little bit of that is, like, she gets 41 and Yusuf gets 55 in a win. I mean, I'm taking the 1,000 savings all day for 20 points less, hoping my favorite Morales compared to 8,600. You know what I'm saying? Costa Morales. I'm just hoping Morales outscores Costa by 20 in a win, and it goes that way. Like, we could see some funky optimals or people at the top of the leaderboard this week is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right. Two fights left. Rodolfo Bellato, minus 600. Paul Craig, plus 425. Minus 600 for this fight to finish. Bellato, minus 300 inside the distance. Craig, plus 475. Take it away. What are you doing?
I'm probably, man, I don't know. I'm probably loading up on it because I got it as a 5-star. I think it most likely plays out as a Bellato knockout or Craig submission. Just the worry would be that it turns into one of those Craig striking matches where the other guy's just too scared to do anything, and it could be a Bellato 45-point win just because it stays on the feet. Yeah, something like that. So I am hesitant to have this as a 5-star. But when I'm making lineups, I do want to be clicking on both sides of this. I think Craig could go out there as a plus 400 and dominate this guy. Just get one leg, take him down, and then Bellato do absolutely nothing. Craig submit him in the first round, break the slate. So I do want to be overweight to Craig for sure. But if he can't grab that leg and get the takedown, he's not going to do anything on the feet. And Bellato has big-time power. So I feel like Bellato will knock him out if the submission's not there for Craig. But either way, I think we're getting a finish.
Yeah, I'm with you. No hot take here. By far the most likely fight to finish on the card. But like you said, the worry always is I mean, Paul Craig's so dangerous on the mat. One mistake, like you just slip and fall, and Paul Craig's on top. Like one mistake. So people do fight more cautious or can fight more cautious. Or if you don't, my man Sweet Dreams found out with a limp arm, like real quick. He should have fought more cautious. So yeah, like I prefer so you have this fight, Morales fight, and the Ruzy Boy fight, all 5 stars. How would you rank those 3?
Yeah, that's so close because I don't think any of them we have to be 100% all in. But on this card with all the other 2 stars that I have, and we got a 1-star with Tisha, I'm going to flock to these fights so much where they're all very similar, and I'm just going to have a ton of all of them. I would say, oh man, I don't know. Maybe to be different, we'll say this one first, Ruziboya fight second, Morales fight third.
Yeah, I mean, I got Ruzy Boya fight first, this fight second, Morales fight third. I'm not playing Gilbert Burns in 20 teams or less, and Morales' price tag being so high, like 110, might not be enough. So that's the reason for that. But yeah, like it's a pretty big gap, to be honest. I love that Ruzy Boya Stoltzfus fight, so I feel pretty big gap there. Then it'd be the Craig and the Morales fight pretty close after that. You just saying like right away, like Craig gets one takedown, it could be at over first round submission after that. Makes me, on a card that I'm crossing off a lot of cheap dogs, probably prefer Paul Craig when you say it like that. But I mean, man, Bellato's still taking money. He's way more powerful. Craig has nothing on the feet. Like, it's really hard to pick Craig, but he finds ways to win fights. There's no doubt about that. So yeah, I'll be playing both sides. Probably my second favorite fight on the card. Main event time, Big Marley. Again, appreciate everyone that's been hanging out with us. 100K up top this week, 12 fights. Everything will be up on SHIPIT Nation on Friday. Projections, ownership. If there's any changes right here, the odds will be updated. Cores, you'll see the 3 cores here, the fades. All of this is color coded. We have MMA. We have the slate plan. I break down all the fights. Big Marley breaks down all of his fight rankings, puts the stars to it, picks winners by what round, by what submission, KO, etc. Core report, cash cores, GPP cores, projections, ownership. Again, all loaded into SaberSim 2, the best optimizer out there. If you do want to join, DGen75 is the code. Get you $75 off your first month. Less than $1 a day. Oh, man, no Burns. I'm thinking about locking Burns. Now, this is the reason to maybe play some Burns. Yeah, we'll get to it right now. Main event time. Michael Morales, minus 800. Gilbert Burns, plus 550. Minus 260 for this fight to finish. Morales, minus 220 inside the distance. Burns, plus 850. Part of the reason that I said no Burns is we have him as the most popular underdog. I think that stays the case because people can make a case for he loses, he's on the optimal, and I agree. But under 3.5 favored at minus 140. Morales is taking money, round 1, now plus 300. So, Big Marley, I'm going to have you break down the fight. But if this fight finishes before 3.5 rounds, so even third round before 2.5 minutes, and Burns loses, what odds do you think he has to be on the optimal? Do you think he needs all 25 minutes? Start with that approach, break down this fight, and then what are you doing for DFS?
So if he loses and it's under 3.5 rounds?
Correct. So Morales wins in 1, 2, or 3 in the first 2.5 minutes of round 3.
Yeah, I would say like 6-7% optimal tops.
And
probably.
He just gets good, and he just gets a couple takedowns and then gasses out after that. But he competes early. That makes sense.
Yeah, be a top. Yeah, I think Morales just up and comer, possible title contender, possible title holder in the future. He's young, 25. He's tall, long. He's a good striker. He's a good wrestler. But this is his first big time fight. This is his toughest competition to date, and he's a minus 820 favorite. To me, I think that's a little bit crazy. He definitely deserves to be the favorite because he should be able to dictate where the fight takes place. And as long as you don't let Burns get on top of you or knock you out, Burns got big time power too. Then Morales should be the clear minute winner in this one, especially with 5 rounds to work with. Burns probably slows down as the fight goes along, but at the same time, it's a Morales fight where he's never been 5 rounds. He's young. He could have that first mistake in this fight. So I want Burns exposure for sure in this one. I don't know that I'm going to get as much as the field, but he's still going to be one of my higher owned underdogs probably. And then Morales at 9,700. I think that price tag makes it where we don't have to have him, but he should put up a big score. I think he gets a knockout at some point in this fight. He could get takedowns along the way too if you really want to play with fire. But I just have no issue going to Bellato instead of him, saving 300, going to Ruzaboyev instead of him, saving 700, Costa, save 1,000. So he's not an absolute must-have, but for him to be the main event, 5 rounds to work with, the UFC wants him to win. I think he should go out there, put on a show. And if he gets the knockout, he probably does make the optimal lineup, even at $9,700, because this card is just not the greatest. Doesn't have the highest of ceilings. And our other high ceiling fighters on this card could just end up there with Morales on the optimal lineup. So I like him.
Yeah, I definitely like him too. The burn stuff, I'm just thinking more and more about because, man, he might be 35% owned. People will use it in fight stacks. I'm not fight stacking this week. I get it. 12 fights, the less fights you have, the more big favorites you have, the more viable it is. I'm definitely not doing that. I just do not think Burns wins it all, but he is dangerous. He does have power when he lands. Still can't believe Usman ate that big shot against him. The Morales-Fugit fight, like I was there live. I'll never forget that one. Morales was a huge favorite, but Adam Fugit was giving that dude some problems. Morales, big third-round finish. But, yeah, like I'm also looking at DraftKings, the takedowns. So over 0.5 for Burns, minus 185. Over 0.5 for Morales, plus 300. Like you said, Morales can wrestle. I think he can. Now, I don't know if he's going to come out and shoot a double leg in round one and try and go wrestle with Gilbert Burns. Hamzat struggled taking him down with the grappling, but man, like 0.5 for plus 300, doesn't that seem kind of crazy? That also makes me like him less in DFS. Like he just is striking. A third round knockout probably isn't enough at that price if he isn't wrestling. So yeah, that has me stumped a little bit. I prefer Ruzi Boyev. I prefer Bellotto, I think, for the savings. But I don't know. It's tough up top.
Yeah, I do think a third round knockout from Morales does take him off the optimal lineup. I would think it would have to be a first or a second round, or one where it just goes into the fifth round and it's a fifth round knockout and he just dominates a gassed out Burn, something like that. But I think third round would almost be the worst possible outcome for a Morales win here.
For sure, I agree. Yeah, I don't really have too much more to add. You'll see my final thoughts in the slate plan. I didn't plan on playing Burns in 20 teams or less. Maybe that'll change a little bit. And mainly for the fact of if it does go 5 rounds, Burns is somewhat competitive. No dogs win. Burns would, I think he'd have a better chance than Pinheiro, than Reed, than Connor Matthews. Stoltzfus, if he loses, he probably just gets knocked out early. Paul Craig, if he loses, I don't think he scores. So just saying it all that way at 6,500 allows you to jam in a lot of favorites. I'm talking myself into probably getting some Burns. Not for the fact I think he wins, just the nature of this card. But yeah, again, projections, ownership, everything will be up tomorrow at some points. Big Marley, great stuff. Final thoughts.
I'm in. Happy birthday, SHIPIT Nation. It's been a fun 2 years. Got plenty more to go. Hopefully we'll add another shipper to it this week. Good luck to you, Title. Good luck to everybody listening. Let's ship it.
Yeah, it's a great week to ship it on the SHIPIT Nation birthday. Good luck to everybody out there. Again, appreciate y'all hanging out. Like button, subscribe button helps us out a ton. And DGen75 is the promo code if you want to join. $75 off your first month. For Big Marley, I'm Titletown. Good luck. Have a great weekend. Peace. Be safe.